Is that you, Mr. Shields?
Yes, it is. I'm right here.
How are you, Mr. Shields?
I'm doing great, man. How you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm over here telling my community to pray for Ronnie. We want Ronnie to get this job, man. So walk us through it, man. Walk us through it, because this is a big assignment. It's not like you haven't been here before. I was telling my audience this morning, you've trained the likes of Pernell Whitaker, Mike Tyson, Chris Arreola, David Tua. I'm missing one heavyweight, right? I know you trained Pernell. He's not a heavyweight, but I'm saying you've trained some legendary names.
Yeah, Evander Holyfield.
Vander Holyfield, that's right. Uh, How was it receiving the phone call? How did this all come about? Was it you inquiring about possibly helping him out? Did they reach out to you? And how did you react when you first found out about it?
Well, it was them who reached out to me. They reached out to me,
Beautiful.
and and they they asked me would I be interested in taking a look at AJ, and you know, and he would like to come down to Texas and see if things could work out between him and I. So I said, yeah, no problem. I said I would love to take a look at him. I'd love to see if we can, if we can mesh together.
Now, obviously, because you've trained so many legendary names, I'm assuming getting a phone call from one of the biggest names in the sport, it doesn't alter you in any way, or did you have any nerves about it was kind of like an audition, right?
Well, you could say it was, kind of like an audition, but, for me, anytime I talk boxing, I mean, boxing is boxing. I don't care who I'm talking boxing with, It's no such thing for me as getting nerves or anything like that because, I do this every day. So this is not something that's new to me. And, names doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, if I can help somebody, I can help somebody. And I just tell them what I think, what I feel, how I work, and, and we go through it that way. But, no, it's not, I didn't get nervous or anything like that because, I've been here too many times. I've done it too many times.
Would you say if you were given the assignment, it could go down as your greatest achievement to bring him back to win his 4 titles? Or would you say that you have something on that level in your resume and accolades in the past?
Well, I've had, I've had some stuff like that happen to me before. So yeah, but I think for a heavyweight, yes, it would be great to get him to reclaim his world titles that he lost to Usyk, and and I got the capabilities to help him to do that. So and we for the last 2 days, everything seemed to go well. The first day was just all talk. We talked about maybe 3-4 hours, and then when he came back today, I told him I wanted to do just some light pad work with him just to show him everything we talked about. Because see, you can talk it, but you have to be able to prove and show. I think you have to be able to prove and show the fighter what you really mean and how I think he should do things. And so we just did some light work, and I just put him through some drills that I do that make him understand what I was talking about the day before.
And was this something that you prepared for? Like, you got the phone call. Did they give you adequate time to, I don't know, review tapes and get to know Joshua, like maybe by reading articles or something? Or was it just like, Ronnie, we want to stop by. Is it possible? And then poof, they popped up.
No, I knew about it about a week before. I knew about it about a week before. Well, actually, I didn't know who it was because somebody else called me and told me that and asked me would I be interested in training one of Maximum's top fighters. I said, yeah, no problem. Yeah, absolutely. And then they said, well, somebody will call you and tell you who it is later. I waited. And then I went on my Instagram, because I don't run my Instagram, my wife do, and she's been sick. So I went on my Instagram one day, Friday, I think it was Friday, and I hadn't looked at it in weeks. So, and I know she hadn't looked at it in a week. But anyway, I saw a message from Eddie Hearn, and for me to call him. And so when I did call him, he didn't answer. So I just, said, well, if you want to get back to me, he'll get back to me. And then the following day he did. He sent me a text, and then he called me up, and he asked me would I be interested in looking at Anthony Joshua and see if we can probably mesh together to see if we can work together. So I told him, yeah. I said that'd be great. So he said, well, I'll call you when he's coming in. So I said, okay, let me know. So then he texted me and told me that Anthony was coming in on Monday. Well, he said Sunday night, Monday. So, and then he did. He got in, I think they got in a little late on Sunday night. And so he came to the gym on Monday, and we worked with yesterday. And yesterday we talked, and then today, like I said, I put him through some pad work today.
Now, how do you react to the Charlos? I seen you had the two Charlo brothers there. And how did that happen, right? Because I know you don't train Jamel. So, did he just say, hey, Ronnie, I heard AJ's coming. Can I come hang out? Did he show up with his brother? How'd that happen?
Well, I talked to Jamal. Jamal was supposed to come in anyway. Okay. He was supposed to come in anyway. And I did, but Anthony Joshua had hit Jamal up the other day on IG, I guess.
Okay.
And Jamal called me up the other day and asked me, he said, man, Joshua hit me up the other day on IG. I said, yeah. I said, well, he's coming here. So he asked me what day he was coming. I said, well, Monday. So he couldn't come Monday because he had to do some stuff with his kids and take them to school and pick them up and do some other stuff. So he couldn't come on Monday. But then last night, him and I talked, and he said he was going to come by today. And he told me he was bringing Jamel with him. So I said, okay, cool, no problem. So they both came, and hey, man, these guys act like they've been knowing each other for years. Because they fighters.
Yeah.
Fighters do. Fighters got that talk, and they talk, and so they traded each other's Instagram and phone numbers and all this other stuff, and they just hit it off like they've been knowing each other for years.
I really want this to happen for you, man. I'm listening to this interview here with a smile. All I could think is wow, one door closes and another one opens, because you just were training, someone that people thought would be possibly next up in F.A. Ajagba. Obviously, he suffered a loss to Frank Sanchez, but here you are with an opportunity to train one of the greater names in the sport. What is it about AJ that you think, I don't want to say change, but what do you think you need to bring to this Usyk fight in order to ensure the win? Is it more about his physical, or is it more about game plan?
I think for me, it's more about game plan. It's more about game plan. Like I say, a lot of stuff we talked about, and I can't go through what a lot of stuff that he told me, but we watched a few rounds of the Usyk fight together, and I just pointed out some things that I thought he should have done that he didn't do, and we had a great talk yesterday. Today was even greater. The talks was really, really good. I like to explain myself to a fighter. I just like to let him know what I think is going to help him and what's going to be good for him. And he really liked that. And it's some things that I showed him that, he said, man, I never was taught to do this, and it surprises me that a guy, who's heavyweight champion of the world, don't know certain things, but, I imagine, and like he said, European boxing is different than boxing over here in the United States. But he realized that he had to come to the United States to get something different. And, you know, he feel and I feel that I could show him something different that's going to really help him in the rematch.
So I guess the $1 million question, and I'm gonna give you like multiple answers, like any nerves, any competitive edge, any worries, anxiety, because it is Ronnie Shields. We seen evidence that he was at Virgil Hunter's, and we seen evidence that he was at Canelo Alvarez. Is there a worry in the back of your mind that you're one of the 3 options, or do you think you're a shoo-in already based off just the chemistry?
Well, I think our chemistry was really well. And look, you know, I'm not going to lose any sleep over whether, you know, he called and said, hey, man, I think I'm going to go this route or that route or that route. You know, I don't lose sleep over that. This is my business. I've been in this business for so many years, man. And I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs, I've seen everything that you can see in the sport. You know, my thing is, you know, I know what I know. I know what I can do. And, hey, that's all I can give you is my best. And if they don't feel that my best is good enough, then, hey, I don't wish them no ill will. I wish them the best, as always.
Now, a lot of us Monday morning quarterbacks, Sunday night after the fight, morning afterthoughts, I was specifically telling my audience, man, AJ wasn't acting like a big man. He needed to be a big man. Walk down Usyk. Is that bad advice? Like, is that just obviously someone on the couch thinking what's the right thing to do? Or could AJ simply be the bigger man and bully him the way Fury did Steve Cunningham and obviously Wilder?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, look, I expected him to fight that way, to fight like a bully, but he didn't. Like, again, I didn't ask what their game plan was. I didn't want to put him through that, you know, because obviously it wasn't the right game plan. And I told him he didn't fight like himself, you know. And I just think that he, you know, he's a much better fighter than what he showed in that Usyk fight. And, you know, like I say, I watched a few rounds with him and his team. I watched a few rounds with him. I pointed out certain things and I say, yeah, man, that's what we should have done, but we didn't do it. So, and you know, the thing about it is, when you have a game plan, you know, you have to work on it every day. You have to, you know, you have to get it down pat before that fight, and then when you get in there, you have to do things that you did in the gym. So I don't know what their game plan was, but you know, obviously it wasn't the right one, and I guess he didn't feel like it was the right one. So this is why he wants to make a change.
Ronnie, obviously you've been doing this for so long, so I got one question, very simple. Can you teach a fighter how to be a dog? Can you give him that mean mentality, that Clubber Lane mentality? I want to say the knock on Anthony Joshua on the internet and the articles, you know, is that he's too nice. That, you know, he doesn't act like a big man. That he doesn't act like a big man. That he's not, you know, trying to be dominant. He's boxing guys that he could be knocking out and knocking out guys that he needs to be boxing. So is that something you can pour into a fighter? Can you make him tougher or mentally more aggressive?
I'm going to tell you the first thing he told me when he came here. He told me, he said, listen, I know people don't think that I'm a dog, that I'm this, I'm that. You know, I'm just a pure boxer, you know. He said, look, I'm going to be a dog in this next fight. Now, that's his words, okay? He told me, I'm going to be a dog in this fight. I just need you to show me how to be the best dog that you can teach me to be. And so, you know, that answered the question for me, because you know, my thing was to him was, why did you box the whole time? He said he felt like he can outbox him. And, you know, obviously that was the game plan, to outbox him. So, you know, that was, you know, to me, that was the wrong fight. Now he knows it was the wrong fight. So, you know, in order to teach a man to be a dog, he has to have the dog instincts in him already. He got it in him. He says he has it in him. And so once we start, you know, if things work out and I'm training him, then once it comes down to it, then you know what? You know, now in the ring, in the gym, is the time to prove it and to show it. And then when you get in a fight, you have to show it too. So, you know, that's going to be hard work. And again, we sat down and we talked about everything, and I felt everything went great.
Do you feel that with what you've learned with AJ in your limited time, did you see enough that this is the guy to beat Tyson Fury?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, this was my first time actually meeting him, and he's a lot bigger than I thought he was. You know, he's not fat. He's trimmed up pretty good, and he has a stature. Man, does he has a stature? And you know, and anybody that can punch, man, that know how to put punches together and everything, I think have a chance against a guy like a Tyson Fury. But again, him and I never talked about Tyson Fury. His whole thing was Usyk, and he knows in order to get to Tyson Fury, he got to get by Usyk first. So that's number one priority.
Now, one of the knocks on AJ is obviously they feel the muscles are depleting his oxygen. You've been a trainer longer than anybody that I know, so are people spot on? And is that something that you can work on, or is that just him because he's has so much muscle mass?
Well, but I didn't see a lot of muscle mass on him. That's the thing. I didn't see that. He's a slim guy. He's tall, but he's slim. He's not. I don't see muscles like that. Like I heard people saying before, he's real muscular. He's this, he's that. But we talked about. I talked with him about his strength and conditioning guy. And I asked him. That's one of the questions I asked him was, so when you're doing weights and when you're doing stuff like that, are you lifting heavy weights or just you doing for speed, for repetition and stuff like that? And he said, yeah, man. He said, I don't lift weights like that. He said, I don't do it that way. I just do what I know how to do. But I'm not I lift 300-400 pounds. He said, I don't do nothing like that. I don't do that. So, what you see is he's a natural guy. He don't do anything to get big like that.
So that's just his genetics, you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That's just his father's Jamaican, and but I know his parents are. I don't know if his mother's Jamaican or whatever. I didn't ask him about that, but but I know his father is, and he just I guess it's just genetics.
Do you think that and I don't mean this in any form of disrespect towards AJ, but I mean, do you feel like he's raw enough that you and him can have a second half of his career, a second later half of his career for some time together?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think with the things that I know and the things to help him to understand, my system. I think my system is perfect for him, and he feels that way too. He feels that he told me himself. He said, "Man, I like the way you talk to me. I like the way you showing me things. I like all of this." So everything seems to be going well.
I know it's only was 2 days, but and I will try to shorten up, finish up the questions, but. Can you compare him to any of the other heavyweights that you train? Obviously, Tua, Vander, Tyson, Ajagba.
I mean, his style is his style is nothing like Tua. Style is nothing like Evander. He's more Ajagba a little bit. Not as far as the height. Of course, you have Ajagba, but he seems to be more looser. With when he's throwing punches, then Ajagba was more stiff, and I was trying to get him out of that stiffness before we parted ways. But Ajagba was probably the only guy, closest guy that I can probably compare him with that I worked with.
And I know you don't mind other people's business, but for shits and giggles, he did go see Canelo Alvarez's trainer, Eddie Reynoso. I feel like that would be, I feel like it would be a great move, but I also feel like I don't want him, Anthony Joshua, to do it because Andy's already there. Andy went there to improve, to hopefully get that trilogy. Now, if you go there and Eddie trains you, that trilogy is dead, and Sanchez's shots at fighting AJ are also dead. How do you feel about him possibly being at the Canelo team with two other heavyweights that were potential opponents?
Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, that's, that's just opponent that he won't be able to fight. Simple as that. It'll hurt the opponents more than it will him.
This is true. This is true. But do you think that it's worth it maybe? Is that trilogy worth it, or you think the two fights are enough and we don't really need a trilogy?
Well, I don't think you need a trilogy for that fight because, the first fight Ruiz stopped him. But the second fight, he boxed him. What makes you think he's going to do anything different? And Andy Ruiz ain't going to be able to do anything different to make it, any better than what it was. I mean, I felt, and I told Anthony this myself when he fought Ruiz, that I did an interview with somebody, and I told him, I was asked about that fight. I said, look, all Joshua got to do is just stay on the outside and box him, and don't worry about trying to knock him out because Ruiz is a hard guy to knock out. And if he just box and win the decision and then go on to the next fight. But, he hurt Ruiz and then he went for the knockout and then he got caught, which happens in the sport. But, and I told him I said that. And then he said, yeah, that's the next one. He just boxed him. He just knew that he was better on the outside, just boxing him and winning the decision. So, sometimes you just got to be smart.
Ronnie, were you with Evander when he sparred the 15-year-old Andy Ruiz Jr.?
Man, I don't remember. Tell the truth.
Okay. So
I don't remember.
The last question and the last option was Virgil Hunter. Again, obviously my job is to talk every day, so I give my opinion. To my audience, I feel like Virgil, he's too nice, right? It's like having two Papa Smurfs and shit. Like, it's not going to help AJ for me. His voice, he's like, you let your hands go, son. He's there to be whooped. Like, he's just too soft-spoken, or am I wrong? Could a soft voice probably be what's needed, I don't know, in the chaos in the ring?
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, every fight is different. So some fighters you have to be stern with. You have to, put your man voice on them to make them understand that, it's important that you go. But some fighters, they prefer a soft voice to, makes it helps them. So I mean, I don't know. So I don't know what's is up to him on what kind of voice he think he needs.
And did the team explain to you that if you were given the head role or the head trainer role, that McCracken would still be involved in some capacity? Is he going to be in the background since he's been the longtime trainer since the amateurs, or is if he hires you, you don't want anyone that you don't know in the corner?
No, I spoke to him about some other guy that came with him, and it was he explained to me that he really wants this guy there. So I told him there's no problem with me. Whoever he wants to bring in, that's fine.
Was a Spanish guy, Angel Fernandez, maybe?
Angel, yeah, Angel.
Okay.
Yes, Angel, yeah. Yeah, he told me he wanted Angel to be with him. And I told him, yeah, it's no problem, And like I said, like when I did the pass with him today, I told him I wanted Angel to sit there and watch me and do it and, watch me do the pass. And Angel did. And, and then me and Angel talked afterwards. And, Angel was, kind of asking me because he's still in the learning process of this thing. So, but he seems like a really good kid.
All right. Well, Ronnie, I ain't going to keep you any longer, man. I do truly appreciate you being able to give us this interview. I know this is a very sensitive subject, and we don't want to be the reason you don't get the job, but we definitely have called upon the community to pray together to get you this job, man. I would love it for you. And once again, we appreciate your time. If you want to give out your social media, which I'm screen sharing, by the way, official Ronnie Shields on Instagram, please do.
Yes, that's it.
All right. Well, Ronnie, man, we appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care, Nathan.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Smile on my face. Ronnie Shields, world-renowned trainer.
Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.